Greetings, humanity, and welcome once again to Channel Other Doc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is Alas for the Angry Void, a reskinning of Alas for the Awful Sea by Storybrewers Roleplaying to tell a gothic science fiction story set among the stars. I am terribly excited. We're doing another mini episode that we're getting going here. So I'm very pleased that we're doing things. I'm very pleased about the things. So we're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to those folks we have with us today, and find out who they are and who they are playing. And we are starting today with Cleric. Hello.
Hello, I'm Cleric of Cord. I'm playing Vargas the Sea Dog. It's too hot to wear the wool knit cap because I live in the desert. So I've ditched the cap. If you've been watching the previous episode, I've ditched the cap. Anyways, I'm Vargas the Sea Dog, and he's also the creature, which you watch last episode.
Yes. A perfectly normal human.
Perfectly normal human. Who managed to fail upwards.
These things happen. And now we will head over to Katy. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katy. I use they, she pronouns, and I play Levitt Teague, who is the mercenary lover, who also uses they, she pronouns, and who will never admit it to Jackson, but might have gotten in over their head.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Tiny bit. But before we dive in, you may see us use safety tools from time to time, like we do with the other games on this channel. We're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anybody needs. And as a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain the gothic themes like gloom, despair, intense emotions, macabre scenes, romance, and curses, along with references to violence, alien creatures, colonialism, crime, death, exploitation, family issues, separation from family, homesickness, loneliness, starvation, sudden decompression, the vacuum of space, and vengeance. If you want to see that at any point, you can, and you're watching live on Twitch, you can type ! AlasCW, and that will show up there. That also will be showing up regularly on rotation in the chat there. Also remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. So, we are we're going to read this recap. I will say Happy Father's Day to anyone who celebrates. That's as one can tell, that's the holiday, but so folks are out, but we will soldier on as best we can. Let's see. The CS Chimera has left the planet Metaxas. I would love to tell you that it happened without incident, but that would be a bald-faced lie. The ship has taken on some passengers, including several merchants, 2 supplicants of the Ashen Darist cult, Evan Quaid, a Cinder Throne Syndicate soldier who also happens to be the son of Zenobia Quaid, the Throne's local leader, and Percival Fielding, a bookseller, forger, and friend to Fergus, the Chimera's pilot, and Signe Norman, local chapter secretary of the Ascendancy, a cultish group of supposedly, if you'll forgive the oxymoron, philanthropic aristocrats. Signe is aboard the ship at the invitation of the merchant Jackson Mead, who is trying to keep her safe from the impending destruction of the planet. Fergus has stated unequivocally that beings from beyond the void are coming to annihilate Metaxas very soon. So he is trying to get as many of his friends as he can off the planet. Irina Maynard and Rust Worsley are safe aboard the ship. Hopefully we will double check with them once we are back in touch with their players on the subject. But for now we're just saying they're safe aboard the ship for a given value of safe. But according to a transmission Fergus has received, it turns out the assassin Levitt Teague has been kidnapped by a mercenary named Hickory, a former acquaintance of theirs whom she left in the lurch some time back, and with whom they entered a brief firefight within Metaxas' spaceport shortly before his people grabbed her. Hickory is currently working with Lennox, another somewhat friendlier acquaintance of Levitt's, who is a sergeant in the Cinder Throne. Lennox and some of his people, along with Hickory's people and Dr. Florence Stoppard, who has also been kidnapped, are aboard Hickory's ship, the Timberwolf, which is even now flying to an unknown destination. Hickory has, through Levitt's message, instructed Fergus to leave the Tauran sector for the next 5 days. Fergus has not shared this message with anyone as of yet, instead sending out a text to the crew saying, Levitt not leaving with us, but is off planet. Dr. Stoppard is with them. I'm raising her rates of passage. Wanting to depart as soon as possible. Wanting to get to but wanting to depart as soon as possible.
Kid was trouble.
I should have got travel insurance. I didn't.
You know, I'm sure someone has sells kidnapping insurance.
Yeah, but would anybody take it out on her?
That's an excellent question. Don't give me ideas. But wanting to depart as soon as possible, Fergus launched the Chimera in direct violation of the ban on flights that has been imposed. While doing so, in an effort to buy time, Fergus revealed the truth of his identity to the company's security team manning the spaceport's traffic control tower. Seeking aid in avoiding the company's defense forces, Fergus also reached out to a being he has been in contact with. An entity Fergus knows as a jailer or warden who apparently exists upon Azoth, Metaxas' third moon, a place rumored to be haunted, and upon which the most significant structure is a castle belonging to the Haberlane family, whose ghosts are said to be held there twisting in eternal torment. It's probably fine.
It's fine.
The warden spoke not a word, but moments after the ship took off, it was seized in a twisting tunnel of light, a tunnel that led the ship directly to the one place Fergus has no wish to find himself right now, the docking bay under Castle Haberlane on the moon of Azoth.
But we didn't crash. That's the important part. You did not crash.
It's very important. You saved the ship from crashing.
Ship falls, party dies.
Yep. Moon's haunted. So, I'm going to try to flip back and forth. We don't have as much time today as we normally do. I'm going to flip back and forth so that we kind of see where we are and what we're doing. I want to check in first a little bit with Fergus, just so that we know kind of where things are, where things stand, how we're doing. You've just made a crash, not a crash landing.
No.
And it was, however, you're getting the little indicators showing like things that kind of need to be, the ship systems kind of need to to need a little look-see.
Yeah. First thing, they were gonna reach out to Trinket, make sure Trinket's okay. And I'm assuming Trinket knows how to. It has a safe place. And
oh yeah, Trinket is. Yeah. I assume Trinket has like a few different little sort of alcoves that it hides in. Okay. And so we're probably good there.
So
yeah.
Yeah. So once he's heard from Trinket,
Trinket, you'll get an indicator that they're okay.
And he's already got this tool out. He's banging on the walls and doing all these things and humming and everything, and takes a break for just a second. Hits the intercom button as we have arrived on the third moon. There's a castle above us. The ship's gonna need some work. Well, Signy, guess you're home. Click. And it goes back to working on the ship.
Yep. There is that. Back out again.
And if anybody's injured, come find me in the on the engineering section.
Well, theoretically, hypothetically, if provided, again, we'll check in with Robin when we have the opportunity. But they are probably working at this point.
Okay.
If that's the case, we'll sort of say that that's being taken care of if anyone's injured. Right. And if not, though, then that of course can stand. But it's like there'll be stuff to do in the sick bay.
And Fergus has sent off Trinket to check the hold, the container hold, with everything that all everybody's luggage and gear and everything like that. So Trinket's off doing that. Fergus is banging on the walls and singing like he normally does, much to the confusion of everyone else. And he's trying to get an idea of what's broken, what can be fixed, what he needs to fix, or he can't fix just right at the moment.
Okay. So, the only other thing then I think that I will ask about before we try to shift over at all. Let me make sure I've got this set properly. Do I have this set properly? I do not. I once upon a time, I knew how things worked. There we go. The only thing I just want to check in with you on is before I hop over. Is there do you attempt to look outside the ship at all, or try to?
He's relying solely on the ship sensors, whatever he can pick up. I imagine there's got to be some way of viewing outside. It's not. I mean, he's that's part of checking in a ship, is to get an external view of it, and their surroundings, to make sure that there's no immediate threat or danger to the ship or the passengers. So he's done that, but as far as other than that, he's more worried about the ship and getting the ship repaired than he is what's going on outside in the castle right now.
Okay, so you're not actually going to try to... Okay, so you're only assessing stuff within the ship, and if the sensors pick up and everything, you're not going to tell them to look for anything in particular.
I'm assuming that they've got he's got some type of proximity alarms or warnings if people are approaching the ship, that type of thing. So, he's checked over that system, the external sensors and alerts, and made sure that that's working. Made sure that there's nothing, that the ship's hull is intact, yada yada. Right. And then once he's reassured of that, he goes back to working and fixing what he can, trusting that the sensors will let him know if there's something that he needs to pay attention to.
Right. Yeah, no, of course. Of course. I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to... just see if there's... Yeah, you're just trying to, start... You're going and you're starting to work on the things that need to be worked on, presumably, after this kind of landing. Well, really, it wasn't the landing that was the issue.
Right.
It was the tunnel.
Tunnel.
It was the dimensional, the little wormhole that got opened up.
And for Fergus, that's something that is out of his control. Mm-hmm. He's aware that there's a very powerful being on this moon, and that it likely had something to do with this. He has other things to focus on. That is not anything that's out of his control. That's nothing he can do anything about. So that's not a priority for him.
Do you want to read a situation?
Yes.
All right. So that is brains.
Which he's not known for.
7. That's.
Yep.
So you get to ask 2 of these questions. I will. I shall display here again as soon as I remember how highlighting works. There we go.
Yep. So I think the first question will be, who or what is my biggest threat? And that's a threat into the ship, not just him personally. So that would be the first thing he would be concerned of. Again, that's why the first thing he did was check those external sensors. Was what's the biggest threat here?
Biggest threat. I mean, the sensors are surprisingly so it's hard to gauge. I'm going to ask if you know what the second question is going to be before I answer the first one.
What's my best way out?
Okay, I gotcha. So as far as biggest threat goes, so you know that you don't think Signy herself is necessarily a big threat, but she's connected, you think, to this place. Mm-hmm. You are also kind of picking up in the ident tag that is still operating here. First of all, there's still something operating here, which is kind of interesting. People do come here from time to time, you would think, just because it's like, they're like, oh, there's a haunted castle up there, let's check it out. But it's not often. It's like you can only come up here if you have permission.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's connected to whatever is happening up here. On the ident that is pinging up, you get something that is similar to that coat of arms you saw, you think, a little bit. Also, you're picking up an unusual energy signature that is not terribly far from here. It is a little bit lower down than you are, which is an interesting trick because this was, as far as you could tell visually, the lowest level that you saw, and it's the lowest level that's registering, right?
Okay.
But it's this thing where, and in fact, it's a thing that you sort of, because you've been looking at these readouts for as long as you have, not this particular readout, but
mm-hmm.
You know how your ship works. You've been looking at it. It's one of those things you almost don't think about. But this thing comes up where it's like you realize that there's a specific area you're not getting,
mm-hmm.
and it's like,
okay.
Wait a minute, that should be there. And you realize there's an energy signature as you're kind of coming from that. So there's something that's got to be, from your experience, that would mean there's something that requiring or able to, or possibly generating, an enormous amount of power.
Okay.
And it's something about it feels not entirely Earth person.
Not totally human.
Something about it, it's like, it's actually, there's this feeling that's slightly familiar to you.
I sense what's beyond.
It's been a very long time. Are you sure you would like to sense what's beyond? I just want to check.
Yes, I'm sure.
Double check with you real quick before you make this roll. You can, in fact, sense what's beyond if you wish. What are you doing? How are you opening yourself up for this?
They focus on the energy signature and where it's
Sure.
coming.
You can absolutely do
And
that.
they start singing. So,
And you've got a resonance already. It's coming from the energy signature, so it's probably not too hard if you want to try to match that. Go ahead and roll plus beyond for me. Okay. So you're going to receive visions and truths. Please remember this result. I'm going to come back to you.
okay.
Because I think the main thing you're getting, first off, right off the bat, is there is something massive staring right at you.
Okay.
Let's head over to Levitt.
It's fine. This is fine.
I'm sure everything's fine. Hello. So you got to send a message, and so that you don't know if it's been received or not. They wouldn't tell you that. It's just basically, I will tell you thus far. Couple of things, important things I need to mention. So you have not. You've seen Hickory. He has not directly said a word to you since they got you. But I'll tell you things that I know is that it took them maybe it was about an hour after they captured you that they took off, and it was around that time you became aware that Florence was on the ship. Primarily, the person that's been the go-between for you and Hickory, has been Scylla. And before she hasn't said a lot, it's been very monotone thus far because she probably is still in shock over the fact that you're here, to an extent. But that was, she brought in the thing for conveyed Hickory's instructions and had you record the message. Dr. Stoppard was out of the brig for a bit, and for a bit. After you saw him briefly in the brig, and then after the Timberwolf took off, they came back in and grabbed him, and then took her to do something. So, just for the purpose of the history in my noggin here, I have a thing I'm imagining that might have happened, but you can tell me if this happened or not. When you left them, were they in this same ship? Was it the Timberwolf?
Yeah, okay. I would say so.
My thought is that there was another vessel passing, and they weren't able to react fast enough to do anything about it because their Argolite core was damaged, so ship couldn't move. They had a spare Argolite core. Perhaps you grabbed it to trade for your passage. I'm not sure. Does that sound right? Okay.
That works for me, yeah. Yeah.
Go get the spare Argolite core, would you?
I will.
I don't know. Perhaps they had. I don't know yet the details of what exactly was going on, but they there might have been short of things. There may have been injuries or something. I had to take care of it, and it was like you happen to be closest, and you're like, let's go. You saw the passing ship. So this also means you know this ship, which is an important detail. So I'm gonna give you a couple of. I'm gonna show you a couple of things.
Okay.
First of all, this is what it looks like on the outside. I'm putting that out in Roll20. And I'll also go ahead. I'm using a model of ship. There's a site that has these an archive of stuff that I think that they had intended for a campaign of Starfinder. As where they were sourcing this from. And this is the interior of the ship, which I'll also just post to chat here, so a link so that as to where that is. If you follow the folks who follow the second link, you need to look for the Griffin, is what that ship is called in that list. For anyone who's curious about that. So as again, that's just a little thing that I just posted a couple of links to the chat there for folks to see should they want to. But so I imagine that this brig. So this brig has its bunk beds, right? You have 2 bunk beds, and you have just sort of the basics, the things that you see there. What are you trying? While you are alone in there, is there anything in particular you want to try? I'm assuming they took your gun and your weapons and all of that. What are we thinking? What are we doing?
I think so where the brig is, do I occasionally see people walking through the foyer and everything, puttering about, that sort of thing?
You kind of feel it more than you see it. I imagine that the door is of a type where part of it, there is a window in the door that can change from being vocabulary, blacked out to not blacked out. You can change from opaque to clear. And this because the controls for that setting are on the outside of the cell. But they can, from time to time look in on you. And that is usually what you see. So you will sometimes be able to sort of feel that there is a kind of someone when there's someone walking in the foyer. Because you can kind of hear them. So when there's someone in the foyer, someone's going up and down the little stairs up to the bridge, or when someone is using any of the kind of the nearby storage compartments, that kind of thing.
Is there anything technological in here, like any sort of pad or anything that they would communicate with me in, anything like that? Because I imagine they also took my communicator thing away.
Probably.
As well.
Yeah. Would you like to read a situation?
Sure. That's brains, right?
That is brain.
That's it.
Okay. So
Not a smart cookie.
they took your communicator, which is an interesting thing. There is I just remembered something about your communicator. So the problem is that there used to be, but then when you did that job with them, you fixed it so that people couldn't exploit it.
Great.
So, like, there's a thing, there's this, like, there's this area of plating that you'd have to find a way to pry off to be able to get at it. You know where it is, but you'd have to come up with a way to get at it in order to be able to do it. Because that was like, when you inspected the brig, that was like the first thing that you realized, oh no, they'd be able to get out using that. So, let's put some plating over that.
I think like Levitt goes through this, like all the emotions, and then realizes that she screwed herself over at this point. Like past Levitt screwed present Levitt over. I think that she ends up frustrated and ends up laying back on the bunk, just arms behind her head, legs crossed, and then just starts obnoxiously loudly singing some old like sea shanty that she's heard Fergus sing before. Just off key, obnoxious.
I just want to ask Fergus a question real quick. What is the nature of is there anything you'd like to tell us about what this shanty is about?
If it sounds like a shanty, it's most likely a it's most likely a communication with the engines.
Oh.
Because all Fergus's language is done in music. He's always humming and singing and whatever.
Of course.
So if Levitt had heard Fergus singing a shanty, that it was part of him communicating with the ship in some way. And it was most likely, if it sounded like a shanty, it would be the engines, because that's what shanties were about, was getting people to work together, harmonize, as they work the sails and the ropes and the riggings of the ships. So it would be something to do with the engines, probably making sure that the engines are in tune, literally.
I'm gonna crash this ship.
So I have I got it. Yeah, go ahead.
They're singing it out of tune.
Yep. And I probably don't know the words. Like I'm just making up as I go, randomly getting words right here and there. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing.
It'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine. But
Chaos.
So this is important now. I have to ask a question, Levitt. Do you first of all, your objective here is mostly, as you're doing this, I'm guessing, is it just to annoy them or to try to get them to do 100%. Something?
She's sort of given up because she realized she screwed herself over. So now she's just like, well, I'm gonna piss off. She's assuming that Hickory's probably got Scylla watching somewhere, like keeping. So she's like, I'm gonna annoy Scylla.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a choice here.
Okay.
Depending, and this, even we can say, it depends on how much you are feeling this versus being deliberate about it, right? I'm going to let you either do manipulate another or sense what's beyond. Just because this is one of Fergus's shanties. You may choose.
This is for you, Cleric. How does the shanty, because it is something that's important to Fergus, like it's Fergus's history, and you know, how does it make Fergus feel when he like sings these shanties now and stuff?
It's contentment. Because the ship has become Fergus's home, and it has been his home for a long time. So it's like think of it as the kind of songs that you hum to yourself when you're cleaning house or whatever, taking care of your place. And so there's kind of that sense of well-being, of caretaking, of contentment, of pride a little bit. It's that type of feeling.
I think she starts out deliberately being annoying. Like that's her whole goal. But I think after a few minutes, and like if she doesn't get a response, she sort of sinks into that feeling that she's never felt, that she's seen Fergus feel before. So maybe it does turn into beyond. To like sensing what's beyond.
If you would like to...
It's not as good as manipulate, but I think it might be more fun.
Sure. No, this is an excellent choice.
A 9. Okay, I'll take it.
A 9. Okay. Fragments and mysteries. I think it's like as you find yourself, as you're doing this, you find yourself almost zoning out a little bit and getting in tune with the engines. And, there is this... There's this thing... Let me see how I can describe this. There is this thing where it's like the vibration of the deck, the foyer. You can kind of feel it changing. It's a little odd. It's never really felt like that before, but there's this like... You're not sure if you're hearing it or you're feeling it, but there's this kind of like ping, ping, ping. This thing that you're starting to sense. That it feels like it's very far away. It's not in this room. But it's like somebody turned on a monitor somewhere. Man, it's like it's almost like just at the edge of your perception. There's this weird little ping like you can sense.
Like a honing beacon type of thing?
Kind of, yeah. A little bit. And you're going to note that after that shift, it doesn't take long. It's interrupted by this sudden just sort of the window defrosts, the window changes, and you see Scylla standing out there. Just sort of glaring in for a moment at you.
Do you like my song?
Let me see if I can remember what I set up for Scylla in my head. Yes. Okay. Oh yeah, right. Like, she clicks the button, and so you hear her come through the speaker. You still can't sing.
You never said I could. You let me out of here. I don't have any weapons. I'm not armed. I'm going stir crazy.
Oh, you don't like the feeling of being confined for a long period of time somewhere?
No, I don't. I know you're trying to make a point here, but I don't have anything to say, honestly.
What the hell? Can you at least... Why?
Why what? Why did I leave you stranded?
Yeah, there it is. What
Because
did we do
I'm
to you?
We're all criminals. What was I supposed to... what are you acting like you're not a bad person either, Scylla? You kill and rob people. Why am I supposed to be any better?
Hey, that... I move stuff, okay?
You aligned yourself with Hickory. Once you do that, I don't really... Scylla, it's not like we were best friends or anything, okay?
I know,
I did what I had to do to get away. I needed a ride. I took the chance. That was my escape. You stuck by Hickory this long. Why didn't you take a chance to leave?
Well, I can't exactly.
And why is that?
Do you know who we had to make a deal with to get out of there?
I was gone, so no.
Well, probably not hard to guess. They do work their way in. They feel like they can leverage anybody. It's the Cinder Throne. We're now in their pocket.
Is that why Linux is here?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just abandon Hickory and be on your own? He's with the Cinder Throne, not you. You could have been like
yeah.
me, doing
We
what
were
you
all
wanted.
on the ship when they brought us in.
They never would have
Right.
missed one person, Scylla. You're fine. You're great at what you do.
No, they took an interest. Somehow they thought it was neat to have this unattached mercenary group that they could do for covert shit. I don't know. There's all kind of weird going on right now. Honestly.
I think by this point, Levitt has gotten up and gone to the window at the door and is standing there, so she can have an actual conversation with Scylla.
Yeah.
Scylla. Listen. I can only assume that my companions are going to come for me or whatever. I'm just hoping. Why don't you just leave with me when they come? You'll be safe. You can start a new life. You have money, don't you? You have to have something stashed away.
So, I think this is going to fall under manipulating another.
Okay.
Probably. Unless you have something else you'd rather use for this.
That's a 10.
Ah! Okay.
I'm so beautiful. I can manipulate people. That really got Cleric.
Yeah.
Levitt's such a brat.
Really is.
I know, right? Okay. So... Oh, I keep misreading. They ask you to promise something first, but we'll get to that.
Well, I think she has promised. She's promised she'll be safe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
okay.
She'll be safe.
So, Scylla says, maybe. Okay, look. This job, right now, I don't know exactly what the deal is, as far as that there are... They've got big eyes on this one, so I don't know if I'd be able to break away, like, if something happened. Maybe. Okay, I'll see. All right, I'll see. Okay, I don't...
You don't have to make any promises to me. It's an option. Do you know where we're going?
She says, if I get into that, the boss is really gonna do a number on us, probably. And when she says the boss, she doesn't refer to Hickory that way, so she's talking about someone else. Is it's not far. And she turns around at that point and she says, and as though someone is, there's someone back there who's like, I mean, you're right up against the glass, so you can see there's movement behind her.
Yeah.
You can see Hickory is walking into the foyer area and is kind of moving over to just looking into the medical bay. And just sort of turning and is like, just sort of gestures to someone, and you see behind Scylla, they're bringing out Dr. Stoppard, and bringing them toward the brig. And so Scylla's like gonna just turn to you, and very briefly she will say, "Do you have a plan?"
Have I ever had a plan?
Fuck. And at that point, she sort of turns and is like, "Yeah, okay. Stand back from the door, please."
Yeah, I step back. I'm not gonna cause any problems right now.
The door opens, and Dr. Stoppard kind of is like, sort of goes into the cell. Again, just sort of this tall, kind of a mop of unruly hair, possibly non-matching eyes, and it's he/she pronouns. Sort of thin, just sort of wearing this, so wearing this sort of lab coat thing that's kind of flies all over the place. Looks a little haphazard. And she's like, turns around. "Oh, very kind of you. Is there any chance you might..." And then the door closes.
Before the door closes, I want to yell out, "Hickory, come on and face me. Come on, we're old friends. We need to have a talk." Just like sort of yelling out random things to Hickory before the door is closed.
You want to manipulate another again?
Sure.
Okay.
10.
Well, here we go. Hickory, I'm imagining this is a big guy.
I imagine in my head like a Dave Bautista looking type of guy.
Kind of, I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
But he will step forward and just sort of bring his full glare against the glass.
Are you still holding grudges?
Like, and He clicks and he says, "Near-death experiences will do that to you."
You weren't near death. You traveled these skies more than anyone I know. You knew how to get out of it. That's why I left. I had faith in you.
There's the same line of bullshit you've been spinning to Scylla.
No, everyone gets their own different line of bullshit. You know me better.
Like, yeah. Well, clearly you hold a grudge because you apparently want me dead. That I've gotten that signal loud and clear now.
No. No.
I'm sorry, were you not shooting at me?
No, I was not shooting at you. Someone attacked me first, Hickory. Hickory, I've been told that you want me dead. Which, I mean, to be fair, I could understand. I'm not going to argue that. But I was looked at and I was defending myself. It wasn't after you. It wasn't personal, I promise.
He says, "You're lucky. You're very lucky right now." Yeah. Oh, yeah. You came on here.
On the
There were things that I definitely... half a dozen different ways I thought of. To end you. But you're lucky that our boss, he says, bristling under that a little bit, says you have a job to do. And that you're not to be harmed. So you're going to be our guest for a while. Until it is time for you to do your job.
When have you ever had a boss, Hickory?
He leans forward. Since we had to make a deal to get away from that place you left us.
Seems like to me it's a failing of your own that you haven't been able to get out of your deal.
And I think that he will... He'll sort of lean back and say, "I always complete my contract. My contracts. Now, if you know what's good for you, you will keep quiet until it's time for us to let you out. Then you will do your job, and after you do your job, all bets are off." And he's gonna back away from the window.
Yeah,
And-
she steps back, and like as he leaves, she just yells out, "This is a horrible way to treat a guest. Horrible lodgings. 1 star."
Window goes black. Florence, who is now sitting on the bottom bunk, just sort of looks up. "You have lovely friends."
They're not my friends. They never were. Definitely not now. Hello, I'm Levitt.
Have you met Dr. Stoppard before? I mean, you know that they're...
Oh,
that
I
he's-
know
okay.
vaguely who.
Yeah, you know
he
who they
is
are.
through
Okay.
Russ, but I've
Yeah.
never actually met.
Okay. So, basically... So he'll sort of be there like, "Oh, you're Levitt."
I imagine our names have passed. But
Little bit.
your name's passed my ears. I imagine mine's passed yours.
Yeah. Well, venue aside, it's a pleasure.
Levitt will shake her hand.
Yeah.
How did you get wrapped up in all of this?
Well, they needed, apparently they needed, they didn't have a medic, and they needed one quickly. And they didn't give me much of a choice in responding, which is unfortunate, because I've got clients. My god, they're going to be in real trouble soon if I don't get back there.
Do you happen to know where we're going?
Oh! No, they didn't tell me.
Well, I did leave a message with the crew of the Chimera saying that we were both captured. I was told you were with us.
Oh, good.
So
That's very kind of you.
There's that hope, at least.
Yeah, boy. I certainly hope so. I imagine... Yeah, well, I imagine they'll be all right. If something happens. No, they pretty much... No, but they just had me... You shot their boss, apparently. Was it you?
I shot the boss. Wait, I shot the boss.
That was you, wasn't it? They seemed to...
I shot someone.
You shot someone, yeah, no. In black?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. That's what they're working for, apparently. Yeah.
Do you know their name? Did you hear anything?
No, I don't know.
You know what they look like?
Yes. It's, yes, young lady. Young, relatively speaking, I suppose. And they were referring to her as her, so I knew that. She was very lucky she was wearing the armor she was wearing, so she's... You did not, in fact, I'm afraid, slay her, if that was your objective.
I wouldn't have cared if I did, but I just wanted to sort of get away.
And she's been coming around. I rather get the impression everyone around here does what she says.
Can you describe her in detail for me?
I suppose. She's got a well, let's see. Heart rate was about. So she starts describing
aesthetically the way she looked.
Oh. You know, I suppose that there's probably doctor-patient confidentiality in here somewhere, but I feel under the circumstances it's probably fine. So yeah, she's fair-haired. I would say she's about. Actually, I need a gauge here. About how old is Levitt?
I think we said she's about 28.
28. Yeah, so mid-20s, I think. Thereabouts. And that's most of it, really. It was just that she has a. She was very patient during the while being a patient. Pulled these rather ancient slugs out of her. It's firing an antique. What are you using, an antique?
Yes, I'm very partial to antique weapons.
Yeah.
They look pretty.
Well, yeah, that's most of what it was.
Sure, who you're describing. I was hoping I could get a read on them.
Well, she's in sickbay still. I don't know how long she's going to stay there, but where she is now.
You didn't happen to be able to smuggle anything sharp out on your person or anything, did you?
did make an attempt. Don't know if it's quite what would be needed. I was only able to grab and sort of reaching in her pockets. She has many pockets on this coat. And so he pulls out eventually there is an empty pill packet of the kind that you normally can that's usually it's where that's got like the pill packets that kind of that nowadays they're made of plastic. In the future they're made of something else, I'm quite sure, but that you pull the little
So you can make a shank out
tabs
of?
in there.
Can I make something sharp out of it?
Maybe. If you would like, we can. Let's see. Unless you have a shank making ability, special move, then I would put this under acting under pressure.
What is that one? Brains? Or
That one is balance.
Oh no!
Ah, excellent. So you do it. You make a thing that it's not quite a shank, but you can fold it over enough that while you might be able to use it to pry something or get in a small space.
I don't want to use it to pry.
But as far as to stab somebody, you can make it into a thing you can stab a person with, but it's not going to... It would distract them. It's not necessarily going to make them bleed much. So it is an effective non-lethal weapon.
Perfect. I take it and I go, Dr. Stockford. They trust you as a doctor, right?
Well, I know I am familiar with Lennox and some of the other fellows out there. So
Linux was the one I called for information, right?
Yeah.
Linux likes me, is on my side anyway. So you might have to just sort of tell him to go along with it. I need you to tell them I've gone crazy and you need to take me to the sick bay, and I stab it into my arm.
Oh dear.
And sort of like jaggedly run it down my arm to make as much of an injury as I can. And then I start screaming.
Okay. This is delightful. Man. Here's the time. All right. So immediately, I'm going to say that. I'm going to just briefly say, just based on timing here, I'm going to stick with Levitt for now. But then there may be a point where Katy has to dive off, and we may switch back to Cleric at that point, or if depending on where we are.
I figured
with
this might be a good segue for me to
It'd
leave
be a
anyway.
good
yeah.
Oh, you want to? Yeah.
So I mean, if we want to wrap it up, it's a good like wrap up point of whatever happened.
It is. But I also there's something that I feel like we might do. So if you'll bear with me for a moment, we can hit a wrap up point in just a second.
Yeah, you're good.
Because yes, so you do that, and blood is starting to pour out, and Stoppard is like, right, and so she will. He will like. His instinct is to immediately take out and start bandaging based on just clothing, whatever they can he can get around, but they will try to. They will like start sort of pounding on the door. He'll start pounding on the door, and at this point, one of the Cinder Throne thugs. This is not Lennox. This is one of the other ones. Shows up and is like, It's
Good,
like, what?
they don't know me, so that's even
Yeah.
better.
Levitt's lost. Levitt has lost their mind. They've lost. Look, they're bleeding. I've got to get them over there. Can we get them over there, please? They're just pointing to sickbay. And the guard just sort of looks in.
I've like made it a point to sort of thrash around enough so to make it look worse than it is, like to spread the blood. Because you said it's not going to bleed. It's going to be not lethal, but maybe not bleed as much. I have made it so like my blood's my heart's pumping. You know, I'm getting like a lot of blood going as much as I can.
We're going to do one more. I'm torn between whether I want this to be acting under pressure or manipulate another. Because I kind of want to see what the flavor here is. Like, what do you want? You are trying to manipulate them. It's kind of clear what you want. So yeah, we can fit it to that. Go ahead and roll beauty one more time for me, please.
Oh my god!
All right. He is not going to let you bleed to death. But the thing is, he will be like, and there is this point where as we do this, where
it's fine.
They will. Well, here's kind of how we do this.
I will say, Jim, so my whole goal for this whole thing was to get a glance at this boss person.
Oh yeah. No, that's happening.
Okay, I don't have to talk to him. I don't have to do anything. I can get punished. I don't care. I want to see with my own eyes who this person is unmasked.
Yeah.
That was my whole goal for this.
Well, that's gonna happen.
Okay.
But so when the door opens, there are several thugs out there with weapons trained, and they're standing well enough back that you can't like reach out and grab their weapons, that kind of thing. And one of the other thugs is going to come in and pick you up to move you. You will see, and they immediately know what to do to get the thing out of your hand.
I'm not fighting them either.
You don't have that. They're moving you past. You see, one of them is sort of in the back. Is Lennox just sort of? He's not doing this, but he's giving you the sort of this look.
I give a little wink. I'm just being carted off, just a little wink.
And you are sort of pushed into the sickbay, and sitting on the bed right now, facing away from you, is someone clad in black. In a, I think that actually, yeah. They're wearing the, I don't think it's even completely on them, the upper part of the suit. So they probably have like, just sort of the space shirt on, sort of a space shirt, like a white shirt on underneath it, or a black shirt, and this blonde head, which I don't know if the color was originally blonde or not. We will know in a second. They turn to face you as you hear the voice at the same time as she says, Of course, this is the way that this happens. It is your sister Euphemia.
Knew it. I knew it the moment you said. Am I like on a bed or something?
So, you are gonna be. Let's see. There's the one bed in there. So she is standing up from the bed as they move you in there, and they're gonna move you to the bed. And as they're moving you there, preparing to enact restraints or whatever, and you kind of see that she's sort of looking down and is just sort of shaking her head.
As quick with all my knowledge as possible, I, like a cat, slip, and I'm just running to the edge of the room. Like, I'm not even trying to escape. I'm just putting distance, and like hair on the back of my neck standing up, just like fear and shock. Can't even say anything on my face, just like distancing myself from Effie. Just like in a state of panic and complete disbelief.
Oh, it's nice to see you too.
What the fuck are you doing here?
She raises her eyebrows, and I think that's actually where we're going to we're going to cut it if you're good with that.
That's fine. I had a feeling that's why I had to see her. I knew it.
Yeah. We're good.
Damn it, Jim.
How are we doing? You doing?
I'm freaking out.
Do you need to dive off at this point?
Yeah, it's probably for the safest bet that I go ahead and head out.
Okay, no problem. So what we will do is I'm gonna after you dive off, I will finish up some things with Cleric, and we will some things happening on the moon, and we'll see kind of where we are there. But in the meantime, would you like to tell folks where they can find you? Any final thoughts about this session or anything else?
Yeah, I'm really glad I got to play. I'm sorry I had to leave with Father's Day stuff, but I knew it when you said it was her. I said, that's my sister. That's my sister. And I needed to see with my own eyes. And yep, I knew it. I know you, Jim. I know you. You're scheming. You're just a schemy schemester. And I knew it.
I was so happy when I saw in chat all those weeks ago that you guessed that it was her. And I couldn't say anything, but I was like, yep.
Ooh, I can't wait to see what comes of this. Like, it's gonna be great. Yeah, I'm very excited. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Katy Face. I'm starting a Urban Shadows First Edition campaign set in Louisiana in the swamps. If you would like to join, I've got 3 great players. Would love 1 or 2 more. It'll be Sunday evenings, a couple hours after this, actually, every other week. And I'm very excited. I'm very excited to bust out some, smooth Southern accents, and it's going to be great. I love running Urban Shadows First Edition. So if you're interested, go check it out on my Twitter. Join. It'll be a good time. But yeah, I will see y'all again hopefully next week.
Yay! Thank you so much, and folks, do check that out because Katy is an awesome GM. Thank you so much. Take care. So we are transitioning over here now, and I'm just going to tell Katie, you can feel free to dive off. I've planned ahead as far as the if you need to. I've planned ahead as far as the
I'll
thing
see y'all
goes.
later. Have fun.
Yeah. Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. And there we are. And so we're gonna head back to the moon for a bit, just so that we can get a few sense of things. But we'll do some stuff for a little bit, and see sort of where we are with that.
Some roles to resolve.
Yeah. There's a role we need to resolve the what was happening on that. Let's see. I just want to see if there's another thing I want to use. As we are here. Do. Oh yeah, we can go with that, I guess. I'll see what this sounds like. I'm looking at soundtracks. I picked out too many soundtracks. I always do this.
Yeah. I have playlists on playlists on playlists.
Yeah. So, something is looking at you as you have reached out. You are getting, as I recall, the result of this roll. It was over 10, right? You received visions and truths.
It was 11. Yeah.
It was 11.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely a 10 plus.
So, I don't know how else to say this. I know how to say it quickly.
Okay.
I feel like the slow way to say it would be something along the lines of that there is this almost cyclopean vision that comes to you. And when I say cyclopean, a big, huge freaking thing. There's a big, huge freaking thing boiling out through the void toward your perception. That you get this sense of in sort of the repeating song that comes back to you. To the extent that it overwhelms your senses almost. You have this feeling when you recognize when you felt this last. And it is a terrible thing. Because there's a thing that feels like this. It's not this exactly. Because that was a panoply of terrible feelings. This is only the one terrible feeling. This feeling of gazing out over the edge of the universe for a brief moment. That is a sensation you experienced on Va.
Oh, yes.
Now, it does not thankfully come with the accompanying starvation or anything, or the darkness. It might remind you of that. But what this is, it's this thing that you almost get a sense that there may have been elders who were better in touch with this, maybe.
Okay.
You didn't really know many people, as I recall.
No.
You were on your own from
population was dwindling.
Were you on your own, right from birth, or were there others?
There were others. But again, under the circumstances, and for anybody who's not familiar with Fergus's backstory, they came from a planet that was dying, in a system where the star was dying, and so it was dark. It was cold. Food was scarce. They're carnivorous, so there's minimal upbringing, care, and then abandonment to fend for yourself because food is the priority. And if taking food from another to feed somebody, you're going to end up with food. So yeah, it's pretty much on your own, scavenging from his earliest memories.
It's this feeling like when the song rings out across the void. You've not experienced this in a very long time. I need to explain this because
Yeah.
when the song rings across the void for you within the majority of the last 300 years, there's something to bounce it off of. There's something that comes back, whether that's from a being or whether that's just from the area. On Vol, there was an edge, a sense of the edge of reality, of the universe.
Okay.
A chasm that you could shout into, sing out to, and nothing comes back. It's very lonely. But it's this sense that it's just this wide abyss that the song disappears into. And that is a little bit of the feeling that you're getting back at first. And then rising out of it, the quick way to say this colossal thing is observing you. And again, you're not seeing it visually, but you get every sense of your being that you're looking at a colossal thing internally.
Okay.
It's like basically you're coming face to face with a dragon.
Okay. Got it.
Great worm, a serpent. That's what you get. A sense of a long thing that is perhaps not entirely physical.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks at you. And once more, finally, you sense it speaking to you. As you look out. What were you hoping to find when you reached out? When you sensed the beyond? The energy. You were looking for the source of the energy.
Yeah,
right?
Trying to determine what the energy was.
Okay. They know that
it's
there's shaped like a
there.
triangle. It's shaped like a triangle. And this being yes. Well. Here you are. So,
You see me.
As what is it you want?
Because I care about safe. I've spoken to the warden. I know what's coming. I want to be...
Yeah. This is the same voice as the
Stop
warden,
it.
by the way. I should point that out. This is the warden.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh, this is the warden.
Yeah.
What do I want? I want to be away from here. If I can't stop whatever's coming through the gate.
Well, you have...
I don't want to be here, and I don't want my friends here.
Yes, I see. And you want me to facilitate that for you?
If you will, yes. I would be grateful. I can't promise much. I can't do much.
As a guardian of the edge, it is your right if you wish to invoke that, but...
Guardian of the edge?
Were you not made aware of that? Are you not aware of that? Of your... Not to say that's rather a lot of your folk are scattered, so not all of you necessarily still perform that duty.
I left the planet as
Of course.
a child
Yes.
and was unaware that there were others who made it off planet. Are you talking
Yes.
of my people, where I come from?
Yes, your people I can
As
distinguish.
far as there are more like me. Are you saying there are more of the Vow, or are there more
Yes.
of these guardians?
Yes.
Sorry, this is Fergus's internal head, so he's not talking like Fergus.
Right. Yeah.
This is-
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
your internal
Yeah.
internal yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your internal anglerfish conversation. Yes.
Yes, yeah. I'm far from the oldest thing, and by any means, but I not come across any of what you're talking about or knowledge of it.
Right. So
I've
There are-
survived, and that is all.
yes. Go on.
That's all my life has been, survival. I found a way to continue to survive.
Well, you have time before someone is released. As I understand your perception of time on this side of things. If I had looked up, researched between the previous conversation and this. If I have the right of it. If I guessed right in the direction time flows for you. It has not happened yet, I would assume. The planet is still standing. Else your ship would not be in a physical space. That is correct?
Is this... Yeah. This, the thing that's coming
Yes. Yes.
from the void,
Yes.
from the edge,
Yes.
beyond the edge,
Yes.
large,
Well, yes.
impossibly large.
Maybe. How big is large? Compared to you? Yes.
Compared to the planet. Large.
Oh, yes. Yes, certainly. Certainly. Why? Why does this matter
Because
to
it
you?
sees me.
There are.
I've sensed it.
They have. Yes, they have been looking out. I do not know if any of them have looked at you.
I can tell you.
Some
they
perhaps have looked at those near you.
No, they've looked at me. They saw me. Not this physical, but what you see.
I should mention the warden is the. Just to be clear, the warden is the dragon. I need to point that out just to make sure that I. Is that right? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I was confused. Okay,
So-
I was
I'm sorry,
confused.
yeah, I
thought the word
perhaps-
was the energy and the dragon was a separate thing. Okay,
No,
all right.
no.
No, yeah, no, okay. That conversation we're gonna retcon that one.
No, it's fine.
We'll
Yeah, it's
retcon
fine. No,
that.
it's fine.
Let's
When we were talking about it, I realized.
Rewind
Wait a minute.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I was confused. Go back to this guardian of the edge. That more like me,
Yes.
more of my people,
Yes.
or is it a reference to others who are non-human? I don't understand.
Humans are the other ones on your vessel. Yes.
Yes,
Most of those.
the appearance It is similar
The
to
majority
mine
of the
in
ones
this
on your
form.
vessel.
Yes. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yes, I thought so. Just
Trinket
like those
is
who have been
another.
inhabiting. Well, yes, of course.
Yes.
All right. And they are important to you. Why?
They are companions.
Oh.
So I'm not alone. I've always been alone.
Nice. That must be nice. What,
it is, and this is why I'm protective of them.
And what is it that you want? You want to get away?
I want to protect them. Get away from here before that thing reaches here, and stop it if I can.
Those are different things, but possible.
No, they're the same thing.
You have time then, as we've established the flow of time on your side. You have a few 4 rotations, probably.
But not if I'm stuck here.
No. So I have a gate. You may use it as your right, but it is within. It is underneath. You would not be able to fit the ship. So that is a possibility, if you wish to go somewhere instantly. I can at this time only send you to the 2 other points on the triangle.
The triangle.
Yes, until the time of the impending release, I can only send you to the 2 other points on the triangle.
And where are those?
We spoke of triangles last time, I think.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But only I can go.
You can bring others if you wish, but again, that is your purview. The ship would have to remain with the home of the the vessel. Yes, I suppose that's what they want to call themselves. Will
they? I have one of their people on board. Will they try to
Yes,
stop?
I know. It is working for me. Sort of. Well, not
I'm
for
sorry,
me. It. What does it prefer? I did not.
She.
It's she. Yes. Oh, that's right. I think she did perhaps mention.
She presents as a human.
Yeah. Yes. She is. Right now, she is.
You speak in riddles. You're assuming knowledge that I do not have.
There is something of a gap between dimensions. You understand this?
I'm a simple creature, living a simple life.
Yes.
A long one.
No.
What you speak of, I've avoided looking into the void.
I see.
Of contacting or being aware.
You have abandoned that mandate, then. That is entirely up to you, of course.
I wasn't aware that there was a mandate to abandon. This is what I'm telling you. I have no knowledge of what you speak.
Okay. All right. I see that you wish clarity on this whole thing. You want to? Do you wish to see the gate? Will that help?
how does viewing the gate give me the answers to whatever mandate it is that you're speaking of that I should know of? And Guardian, where are those answers?
Looking over the edge was the thing that your people do, and it perhaps may put you in touch in that way. But if not, that does not matter so much, really. I suppose it's if you wish to come. I say merely if you wish to come to where the gate is currently, then you can.
Yes,
it is not far. It is not far from you. It is just a level down, but. On your side of things, you understand. What you want is... You want to stop, somehow, one of the entities from being released, I assume.
Yes.
That is not up to me.
But when we last spoke, you said there were ways to prevent it.
There might be. There might be. I see that, well, that from what my understanding of is, the difficulty is this goes from the time from the other direction, and I do not know how to impart it to you well. But the thing being that there are things that I should say. He says something. They say something. Mm-hmm. They say it's like a name. It's an identity. They're speaking of a different entity. Mm-hmm. The thing is, when it is spoken, even though because it is like a name, it rings out painfully.
Okay.
The impression you get from it is like that of a judge. Or the one who weighs the scales. One in charge. Okay. A magister, perhaps, given that that's come up recently. Okay. You might connect those dots.
Mm-hmm.
And Jim will, for the sake of having only the 3 dimensions to work with, will just refer to them as the magister. This is the magister's purview to decide who is released. The decision will be made when all is in place. In 4 cycles. If you wish to appeal to the magister, that would be the time to do it. There are opportunities to do so here, then at the other place, where I suspect your brethren are, the guardians of your people, or at least one. Or there will be, in the place of reverence. The 3rd place, as we've now established it is the 3rd, is not in place yet, but will be in 4 rotations.
And each of these 3 points within these 4 rotations are an opportunity to plead the case to the magister.
Yes, after 4 rotations of the planet below you, then that is when the 3rd point, the receptacle for the 3rd point of the triangle will be in place, and so it will be possible to state things from there, should it be desired. That is where the, I believe a lot of the, some of the power for it is coming from, on your side of things. There is, again, the point near the place of veneration, or in the place of veneration.
Which is where I was attempting to go.
Yes,
when
yes.
This happened.
And then there is here. Those are the three places from which the case shall be able to be made. Once the time is nigh, it will be possible to... it will be possible to transfer between all 3 points using the gate. Or anywhere within, really, but there is rather the vastness of space in between, and my understanding is that most biological life forms do not take to that.
No, they do not.
But that is where ultimately that is ultimately what will form the full triangle, and then once that is done, then and the decision is made, the opening will occur, and whoever the Magister has decided will be released.
I feel like I need to journey to the place of veneration, where, say, my brethren or those like me, or at least one like me, is there.
Yes. All right. So, if you wish, you may go there from here, or you may fly there in your vessel. Once you have...
Will the vessel be safe here?
Likely for 4 rotations. The after that, we cannot guarantee anything.
Right.
And also, it shall depend upon those who are here. If those who are here do no harm to it, it's a lot of this. Sometimes there are problems because there are words that are very close to other words. Understand that what they're saying is not exactly what I'm saying, and
right.
What he's going to mention next is in a different context. He says, I can attempt to instruct the vessel to keep it safe. The vessel to keep ship. Shall I call your vessel a ship? We are speaking of two vessels.
Yes.
Yes.
I believe your vessel is currently on board my ship.
Yes. She is.
Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Yes. I will accept that. I will accept the charge, having you charge them to keep my ship safe.
I think we can attempt to. We can ask them. That is, we have. The difficulty, of course, is that we do not control. We don't control anyone. I cannot make them do it. Understand? I can ask. And that's
can you
all
ask
I
now?
can really do. But, well, we must... there is one thing. Why should I make this effort? You have yet to show me a good reason. Why should I make this effort to hold things and assist your passage? What is the purpose of this? You're trying to prevent a correction in the cycle. That's the point in the cycle that the correction needs to be made, I imagine. It is not as though we want to release one of these beings. But it has become like if, from all that I have heard, it has become necessary.
Because I'm trying to think how Fargus would put this. It can be hard sometimes. You understand alone and lonely
Yes.
without companions.
Yes.
I do this because my companions are special to me, and I do not want to lose them. And I promised Trinket's parents that I would take care of them and bring them back home safely. I would hate to go back on that promise.
So, I'm going to give you an option of something to roll here.
Okay.
I can see now, on the one hand, this could be manipulate another, but this could also be others like me.
Yeah. I'd rather do others like me. That's.
I think it's appropriate because of not only who you're talking to, but how this goes, how that move works. So, yeah, we'll
do you have
we'll
it pulled
see.
up, or do you need me?
So you can roll plus beyond if you wanted to see how effective this is.
I'm gonna put the move in chat first.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. And plus beyond.
Good God.
Oh. Question.
Yes.
I am acting on the first question from Rita's situation. Yes.
Oh, that's a good point. Let me look at the thing.
Which would give me a.
Yeah. Yeah, you are.
+1.
You are acting on that. Yeah. So yeah, you do that. That
So
very good catch.
A 7.
That is a 7. Just made it. So that means you get the thing on a success. You're not left with something puzzling and otherworldly here, but you can pick one thing off that list.
Wow.
Which it really just gives us the flavor of how this is, rather than they're going to help.
Right.
you,
Right.
but,
Yeah. I'm just. Yeah. I'm assuming that others present. Can we include everybody that's on the ship, or the long-term ship passengers? Let's go with the party, and maybe the few NPCs that matter, like Signy and.
Well, you say others present here. What are we talking about?
I would like them to manifest as vision dreams within the minds of those present.
Of those present.
So that's
yeah,
that
so
group of people understand. Okay, you see where I'm going with this? It's like
Yeah,
Fergus will. Fergus can tell everybody this stuff, but if they experience these visions and dreams, plus there's a little part of Fergus's brain's going, "This is gonna freak Jackson the fuck out, and I cannot wait to see this."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's on a success. That's what I'd like them to do.
All right.
So they have an understanding.
Okay. So this doesn't happen immediately, but this is let's get to that point.
Yeah.
I see. We see. Yes, I see. So you don't want to be alone.
No.
I can understand that. All right. I see. I understand. I think I understand now. I am going to advise, if you value the humans, that you let them know that what they have been doing in this sector has led to this. Their use of the energies that warp the void, the way in which they have utilized them. To the extent they have, requires balance.
And I have no qualms about that. But not every human is responsible. It is the bystanders, the innocents.
Your grains of sand, yes. I suppose one can gather grains of sand one likes to oneself, if it provides comfort. All right. So, you can if you wish, yes.
I have no qualms with those who are responsible being punished. It's, as you say,
I will convey the necessary information, but to the vessel. You do have a choice you can make. You can, if you wish, you can use, as I said, you may use the gate, and you may leave your ship here if you must leave your ship here if you do that. The other way is, of course, you may move your ship to the other point of the triangle. And I will see to it that you are not observed in doing so.
I feel
so I wish to facilitate this for you, so that hopefully you may not be alone.
I choose to use the gate and to take my closest companions with me.
Yes.
To visit the place of veneration, as it will be faster than taking the ship, given that we only have 4 rotations.
Very well.
They are not going to understand. And this is the ask. Can you show them why we are using this gate and going to the point of veneration?
Of course. If I were to describe this visually, it would be almost like a miasma rolling out from this dragon. Again, this is not something you see visually, but it is this wave that comes from, like, about a floor below you.
Yep.
And quite suddenly, you are awash in a very bright light. That immediately plunges into visions in the darkness. And I think actually we're going to end there.
Yeah. 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 I like that. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, Fergus is like, dude, yeah, I'm just a simple man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. There it is.
There.
And nice little chat with a giant worm.
Yeah. Is it Jormungandr in the north? The giant worm at the base of the tree?
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's what I was envisioning.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. It's a little world serpenty. A little bit.
Yeah.
In this case, it's more of a.
Universe serpenty.
But it's there to hold the things in that it is wrapped around.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I have this visual now in my head. It's very cool. It's very cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
For coming and doing this. I'm very glad I finally remembered that this is PBTA and therefore it's actually not too hard to do one-on-one. But hopefully we'll have more folks. Hopefully we'll be able to keep going. Hopefully we'll be able to have more folks come back and we can keep moving things forward. As we don't have that much longer necessarily. Cosmically speaking, we don't have that much longer.
Jim, just to throw a banner in the works.
Oh, yes.
Fergus thinks of those present that they are close to, their closest ones. That's going to include Levitt.
Oh, great. No,
Levitt
I'm sure.
is technically part of the ship. So I think Levitt, I'm sure Katy won't mind. If Katy chooses
Katy will be fine with it, I'm sure.
That's fine.
Oh, God, especially given things that have
that
happened recently. This is going to be... Oh, this is going to be nuts.
So I will leave that decision to Katy just because they can choose. They're not actually present and can choose not to receive it. But I would like to throw that out there.
Well, here's the thing. The thing is, they're inside the triangle. The Timberwolf is inside the triangle. And it's not exactly one can aim very well with this kind of thing. It's that's definitely possible.
Cool.
So yep. And the thing being, you just need
it's fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. You were right, however, I'm sure you've deduced by now, you were right about the size of the thing that's coming. Because, you need to make an opening big enough. So excellent. So
this was interesting.
Yeah. So let us feel free to just let us know if you have anything you want to plug or anything, or if you've gotten the folks where they can find you, and any other thoughts you've got about this stuff.
You can find me here on Sundays. I lurk in most social places, Blue Sky and various Discord servers. Occasionally, I'll pop in and comment on something. But this is really the only thing I've got going right now that's on stream. I do have projects that are supposed to be coming down the road here within the next few months. That, as I've said before, once I know more and can talk about them, you guys will hear it from me. But this is it. And Jim, always a pleasure to sit at your table, sir.
Yay!
Always. I always feel like you draw something out of me that isn't always I'm not always able to reach when it comes to my characters and their stories. And
thank you.
Yeah. So
thank you so much. No, I was so pleased.
Thank you.
So pleased that we had an opportunity to talk to our friend the Warden again. It's just, you're right there at his house, so you may as well. You may as well say hi. Thank you also on another note, and I need to thank Katy for this also, just that thank you for giving me something to distract me. today because this is
Yep.
it is Father's Day, and I think it is wonderful for folks who have for the good fathers out there. Excellent. I wish to celebrate them, but also it's always a little bit of a rough day for me. So it is nice to have to have stuff like this going on.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And last month, Mother's Day was one of those days for me. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. So, but yes, and for everybody that's watching, thank you for showing up on Father's Day if you're doing something, or if, like us, you just need a couple hours of distraction.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for watching. Who am I? I'm Jim. Whenever I'm Jim. Yes, I am that Jim. Whenever I'm not a world serpent. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, YouTube, and most social media platforms. Anywhere I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim. Yes, that Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. The only thing currently planned for this coming week again is, if we can get folks together for it. It's always, real life's at us a lot, especially as we get into summer. But on Sundays, Sunday afternoons, week from today, hopefully we'll have more of this, and we'll hopefully be able to see other folks from the crew and see sort of what they do and what happens. Because I would very much like to find out. But we will see. We'll see what we can do. In the meantime, aside from that, I'm just sort of doing video games of various types, and you can always go back and see on the channel what it is that I have going on. But in the meantime, folks, we're going to head off. We might go say hi to someone when we hit the end card. If we do that, feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. But folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.